Hello, here's a brief overview of one of the key assignments in this class, and that is the Learning Module Design assignment. By now you would have seen the announcement regarding the topic you've been assigned to work on, and I will take this opportunity to explain to you how to go about the assignment. Okay? So take a quick look here. First of the two term projects, the learning module design. So every student, every one of you is expected to conduct research on the topic you've been assigned, and the objective is to create a learning module. Now, think of the last time if you've ever had the opportunity of taking any sort of asynchronous training. Think if you've seen any learning material on websites such as edX or Coursera or Udemy. And more often than not, courses are usually broken down into various different sections. Sections may be further subdivided into different learning modules. So you're creating one single learning module based on the material you've been assigned. The way that your topic's been assigned was through the indication of pages. These are page numbers directly from the 13th edition of your required textbook, not a recommended one, your required textbook. And so you're at the very first order of business, of course, is to go through that particular section, okay? And afterwards, after you've gotten a good idea of what the section is about, you're creating this learning module so that your audience, your fellow classmates, essentially, they will all have access to your final product, and they can use that material to learn and to go through and to get a better sense of what the topic's about. Now, there are several elements that you're required to provide. First, a brief introduction in order to orient your learners to the topic. So in terms of the introduction, think of the introduction as an intro write-up. It's a short piece of writing. You can start by posing a certain question. Have you noticed, or have you seen? You can discuss the topic. You can use a scenario to set the tone. And again, after the learner, after the audience reads and go through this part, they should have a decent idea of what the topic is about. Maybe not the details, maybe not fully comprehending what the issue is about, but generally speaking, so you're grounding your audience, you're grounding the learner within the context of what you're discussing. Is this a concern, or is this an observation in early childhood or middle childhood, or what stage of development are we talking about? What nature of development are we discussing here? Biosocial, psychosocial, or cognitive? So there you have it. Now, the second piece is you have to include a minimum of 2 multimedia elements. A minimum of 2. Okay? A minimum of 2. And the 2 pieces of multimedia elements, one of them will have to be self-made. One of them will have to be self-created. That is, you have to record yourself with your image, your voice, to discuss, to talk about the topic, to talk about maybe you can decide how you want to do it. One example is for you to talk about a specific part of that topic. Okay? You can create a video with visual aids, or if you decide to not use visual aids, then it really hinges on your communication abilities there. I strongly recommend that you include some visual aids. This way you can facilitate getting the message across to your audience. So one of the minimum of 2 elements will have to be self-made. The other one, you are welcome to use external source, some external source. Now you're welcome to go beyond 2 learning elements, but if you do, just keep them. I'm thinking a maximum somewhere around 4 to 5 pieces would be sort of the maximum. We don't want to overwhelm your learner. So here's also an exercise where you where you kind of need to think through how you want to focus your learner's attention to a handful of pieces of learning material and not to overwhelm your learner too much. The third piece, some sort of an activity, some sort of a learner attempted activity. Here you're providing instructions. You can do so in the form of a video. You can do so in the form of a set of instructions, written instructions. So instructions in print, they're totally fine. Instructions to guide your learner to do something. An important principle in education, in teaching, is to create activities where when your learners do that thing, they get to acquire they get to acquire the knowledge, they get to experience the information, they get to actually incorporate whatever you intend them to learn and be exposed to as part of their psyche through the activity you give them instructions to participate in. So there you go. The third part, it's more about offering instructions step by step, clearly laying out what to do first, what to do next, what to do last, and what sorts of things to pay attention. So these are all relevant parts that you can include in your instructions. And the final piece, the fourth piece is an evaluative component. Okay, so evaluative components to enhance learning and understanding. You can create a quiz, you can create a matching exercise, sort of a fill in the blanks exercise. And if you do create something requiring a response or requiring an answer, please make sure you provide an answer key. Okay, please ensure you provide an answer key. A good length of various different items. I'm thinking somewhere between 7 to 10 items would be appropriate. Something short. Now, the entire exercise, the entire learning module, please aim to design the module to be attempted and completed within 30 minutes. Within 30 minutes. A good rule of thumb, if you aim to design an exercise for somewhere to be completed somewhere between 20 to 25 minutes, it would end up being roughly, 30. Learners, they may, when they attempt the exercise, they may kind of have to calm their mind. They may have to kind of settle into their chair. So the first maybe 5-7 minutes, it's kind of a period of time when they get used to the exercise, and then on they go. They would begin to read slightly faster and go through the material. And in particular, if you design the module in a step-by-step process, so you would start out with maybe some tangible, manageable material and gradually move into perhaps concepts that are maybe more complex, then the learner is going to gain momentum as they learn, and it becomes a 30-minute exercise where they would end on sort of a high note in terms of the pace when they learn, and alongside that evaluative component, they would get to assess themselves, they would get to ascertain what they were exposed to during the half hour. Okay, I hope this is clear. I have updated the due date from the original October date to November 7. November 7. November 7, 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time, November 7. Please work away. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out by email. Thank you.